When the Galactic Council asked why humans kept winning impossible wars, they didn't expect the answer to be a broken warship and a terrifying blueprint. The first time I saw a human warship blueprint, I laughed. Not loudly, not rudely, but the quiet, polite laugh of a veteran engineer who had spent 3 centuries designing vessels for the Galactic Coalition. I had seen the best warships in the known galaxy: elegant Valian strike cruisers, brutal Tharn dreadnoughts, and the near-perfect defensive platforms of the Solari Union. Compared to those masterpieces, the human design sitting on my console looked primitive. Too many redundancies, too many manual overrides, armor layered in strange angles that seemed to contradict basic naval doctrine, power systems that were powerful but messy. Their weapons were crude, overpowered cannons instead of refined energy lances. It looked like a machine built by paranoid mechanics rather than professional ship architects. And yet, the humans had survived battles that should have wiped them out. That was why the High Council had summoned me. My name is Varel Tanis, Senior Architect of Warship Design for the Galactic Coalition Fleet. For 200 years, my work had defined the standard structure of Coalition warships. When the Council wanted to understand how humans kept winning impossible battles, they sent me. Humans had only joined the galactic stage 30 years earlier. In that time, they had gained a reputation that made older civilizations deeply uncomfortable. They were reckless, they were stubborn, and they refused to die when logic said they should. Their ships were smaller, slower in certain metrics, less elegant. But again and again, human fleets survived encounters with technologically superior enemies. The High Council wanted to know why. I was sent to Earth with one directive: study their engineering and determine if humans were dangerous or merely lucky. Earth was a chaotic world compared to the orderly capitals of other species. Cities sprawled across continents in tangled webs of steel and glass. Satellites filled the sky. Ships moved constantly in orbit. Nothing seemed still. Humanity lived like they expected disaster tomorrow. Their primary naval engineering facility orbited above a blue ocean. A rotating shipyard, the size of a small moon, covered in half-constructed vessels. My shuttle docked in a bay that smelled of metal, oil, and heat. Not sterile, not pristine, alive. Waiting for me was the human assigned as my liaison, Commander Elena Reyes. She was shorter than most humans, with dark hair tied behind her head and the confident posture of someone who had spent her life on warships. She extended her hand in greeting. "Welcome to Orion Shipyard's Architect Tanis." Humans had an unusual tradition of physical contact when meeting someone. I returned the gesture awkwardly. "Thank you, Commander." She led me through the station. Engineers walked everywhere carrying tools and data pads. Welders sparked in open construction bays. Sections of hull floated past in zero gravity, while robotic arms assembled them piece by piece. Nothing about the process looked organized, yet somehow it worked. Finally, we entered a design chamber overlooking a partially built warship. A human cruiser. Commander Reyes tapped a console. The blueprint appeared. "Your council wants to understand our ships," she said. "Yes." She smiled slightly. "They usually do." I studied the design carefully. The strange redundancies were still there. Triple backup reactors, manual targeting systems alongside automated ones, armor thicker than necessary, escape corridors running through nearly every section of the vessel. It was inefficient, wasteful, but something about it bothered me. "You expect your systems to fail?" I said. Commander Reyes shrugged. "We expect the universe to try very hard to kill us." That answer did not satisfy me. Over the next several weeks, I observed human ship design. I interviewed engineers, officers, mechanics, and even civilian contractors. The answers were always similar. Human ships were designed with one assumption: something will go wrong. Coalition ships were masterpieces built for perfect conditions. Human ships were built for disaster. I found that fascinating, but it still did not explain their battlefield success. Until the day the alarm sounded, the entire station vibrated as warning sirens filled the corridors. Commander Reyes looked at a tactical display and her expression hardened. Pirates. Pirates were common along the frontier. But the ships appearing on the display were far larger than normal raiding vessels. 3 destroyers, 1 carrier, and several attack frigates. They had ambushed the shipyard. Construction crews rushed to defensive stations while half-built vessels scrambled to activate weapons. Reyes looked at me. "You wanted to see our ships in action." The words were not a joke. She handed me a tactical headset. "Stay close." The command center filled with tension. The pirate fleet advanced quickly, clearly expecting an easy target. Shipyards were not supposed to fight back. They were wrong. The first human cruiser launched from the station before its paint was even finished drying. Another followed. Then another. Several ships were still incomplete. One had entire sections of hull exposed, yet they launched anyway. I stared in disbelief. "These ships are not combat ready." Commander Reyes nodded. "Correct. Then why deploy them?" Her answer was simple. "Because the enemy is here now." The battle began moments later. Pirate destroyers opened fire with long-range plasma lances. Human ships responded with massive rail cannons that shook the hull of the station itself. The weapons were crude compared to coalition energy systems, but they were terrifyingly powerful. One pirate frigate exploded instantly when a rail slug punched straight through its reactor. Yet the humans were outnumbered, and the pirates knew it. Enemy fighters launched from the carrier and swarmed the incomplete cruisers. Missiles slammed into hull sections that had not yet been reinforced. One human vessel lost its primary engines. Another lost its targeting array. On a coalition ship, those losses would have ended the battle. The vessel would retreat or be destroyed. The humans did neither. Damaged ships continued fighting. Manual targeting systems took over when automated ones failed. Backup reactors activated when the main ones were destroyed. Crew members physically ran ammunition through corridors when loading systems jammed. At one point, a cruiser with half its weapons offline simply accelerated directly toward a pirate destroyer. I thought it was a desperate retreat maneuver. It was not. The human ship rammed the destroyer at full speed. Both vessels exploded. The command center fell silent for a moment. Then someone whispered a human phrase. "Worth it." I turned to Commander Reyes. "You consider that acceptable?" She watched the tactical display calmly. They were volunteers. I did not understand humans, but the battle was not finished. The pirate carrier launched another wave of fighters. Human ships were taking heavy damage. Even with their redundant systems, they could not hold forever. Then something unexpected happened. One of the unfinished cruisers broadcast a signal. I saw the data packet on the tactical screen. It was a blueprint, a complete warship design, sent to every ship in the system. I looked at Reyes. "What are they doing?" She smiled. "Improvising." The blueprint contained modifications, emergency armor reinforcements, weapon overcharge instructions, structural adjustments for ships that were not finished yet. Human engineers aboard the station immediately began transmitting the changes to the fleet. Ships adjusted their systems in real time. Weapon outputs increased. Armor configurations shifted. Power was rerouted through circuits that had not existed 5 minutes earlier. The humans were redesigning their warships during the battle. I had never seen anything like it. Coalition doctrine treated ship blueprints as sacred documents that could not be altered without years of testing. Humans treated them like suggestions. Within minutes, the battle shifted. Rail cannons fired faster, point defense systems improved their targeting. Damaged ships suddenly regained maneuverability through emergency thruster configurations. The pirate fleet hesitated. They had expected a helpless shipyard. Instead, they faced an enemy that evolved during combat. One by one, the pirate ships began to fall. The carrier attempted to retreat. A half-finished human cruiser pursued it. The pirate captain likely believed the damaged vessel posed no threat. Then the cruiser fired its rail cannon. The shot pierced the carrier's engine core. The explosion lit the entire battlefield. Silence returned to the station. The pirates were gone. Human ships limped back to the shipyard. Many were barely intact, but they had survived. I stood in the command center staring at the aftermath. Commander Reyes removed her headset. "You wanted to understand our ships." I nodded slowly. "Yes, now I did. It was not their technology. It was not their weapons. It was their philosophy. Human ships were not designed to be perfect. They were designed to survive failure. Every system had backups. Every crew member could adapt. Every blueprint could change. Coalition engineers built masterpieces that collapsed when damaged. Humans built monsters that kept fighting no matter how broken they became." I returned to the Galactic Council several weeks later. They expected a technical report. Instead, I delivered a recommendation. I requested permission to give humanity one of our warships. Not a small one. A coalition battlecruiser. One of the most advanced vessels ever constructed. The Council reacted, with outrage. Why would we give such power to a young species? My answer was simple. Because they will improve it. Coalition ships were elegant, but rigid. Human engineers would not respect that rigidity. They would modify it, strengthen it, adapt it. They would turn perfection into something greater. The Council debated for many hours. Finally, they agreed. A single battlecruiser was transferred to human control. I traveled to Earth once more to witness the results. The humans studied the ship with excitement. Within days, they began making changes. Armor layering increased. Manual controls installed. Backup power systems added. Weapon mounts reinforced. Escape corridors expanded. They were transforming the ship into something entirely new. Months later, the vessel launched. It no longer looked like a coalition warship. It looked human, stronger, heavier, more dangerous. Commander Reyes stood beside me on the observation deck. "So," she asked, "do you regret giving us the blueprint?" I watched the massive ship ignite its engines. "No," she smiled. "Good." Because I had realized something during the pirate battle. Humanity did not win wars because their ships were better. They won because humans refused to accept defeat. Give them a broken vessel and they would repair it. Give them a flawed blueprint and they would improve it. Give them a warship, and they would turn it into something the galaxy had never seen before. That was why I gave the humans one of our warships. Not as a gift, but as an investment in the most dangerous engineers the galaxy had ever encountered. And deep down, I knew something else. Someday the galaxy would face a threat greater than pirates or rival empires. When that day came, we would need humanity's blueprints of greatness.